On a very simplistic level, one of the ways to become present, if we get to being present before we then become focused, one of the ways to become present is to smile. The smile is incredibly powerful for bringing you into here and now. It also means that if you're smiling, you can't be feeling anxiety, because the body cannot hold two opposing emotions at the same time. You can't be depressed and happy. You can't be anxious and relaxed at the same time. Preparation is critical to giving yourself a break. And if you give yourself a break, you are giving yourself every opportunity to do what? Be present. Be relaxed. Be here now in this room, not worrying about all the things you haven't taken care of before you got here. The idea of actually scooping up all those irrelevant worries that are nothing to do with you and your horse and riding at this moment is one of the nicest things you can give yourself as a gift. Your best friend would tell you to do that. Your best friend would say, you work hard, you're a good mum, a good daughter, a good wife, girlfriend, sister. You enjoy 50 minutes with your horse. Don't worry about the other stuff. That's what your best friend would say to you. But we struggle to say that to ourselves. We're too hard on ourselves too easily. So put those things in your mind's eye. See them being driven and ceremoniously dumped. Drive them over a cliff. Push them over a cliff. Kick them over a cliff. Get rid of them. When you get off your horse 30 minutes later, 50 minutes later, you can go and pick them back up again. They're not going anywhere. They'll still be there. But you owe it to yourself to use the parking lot as a very quick way to just get rid of them. Ditch them. If you could describe that thought and give it a label, what would you call it?
Trivial.
Sorry, Danny?
Trivial.
Trivial, absolutely.
I'd empathise because I haven't either.
And how does that make you feel?
Hungry. Shit.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to eat.
Yeah. And what's the feeling behind that?
Guilty.
Yeah, absolutely. And how often do we feel guilty and then very quickly actually resentment? Why is it up to me? And I'm not saying that that's necessarily your case. So the label we'd give it is there's guilt. I haven't been to Sainsbury's, there's guilt. And it is trivial in the grand scheme of life, and you being happy with your horse for half an hour. Who doesn't deserve that? Okay, what were some of my other thoughts? Some of my other thoughts that popped into my head was, I didn't make that phone call, didn't return that phone call. What's that?
Guilt again.
Guilt again? What else could it be? Worry. It might have been important. So there's the label, worry, or more guilt. What am I going to make for dinner tonight? Maybe that thought comes into your head. What's that sound like? Planning. What am I going to do? This is actually a technique I learned working with some Buddhists for 8 weeks. And this was one of the reasons people find it hard to meditate. And I'm not talking about Om, but just literally stay with their breath and be present and focus only on their breathing, is flitting thoughts that come flying in and out of our mind that have nothing to do with breathing, because we can do that without thinking about it. And one of the techniques that I learned personally with the Buddhists is this labeling technique. It is so powerful because as soon as you give something a label, it's done. It's actually gone, done. It's almost like you've ticked the box, dealt with it, and it flies off centre stage, off left. It's a very powerful technique.